Hi everyone, so I finished my art journal and I thought I would do a flip through and talk a bit about it. So I started this one in September 2023 and I was just using it not very regularly, but it was the second one that I started taking a bit more seriously. This was the first one and I started kind of using them at the same time, and then this one just had a few pages because it was a handmade one, and so I finished it rather quickly, and this one took me up until now. So this is just I just numbered my journal. So this was the second one. This is one of my favorite pages actually. It's very simple and I like how loose it is. It seems like now it's more difficult sometimes to do it as loosely as I did at that point. This one's okay. This one didn't really work so well. I did a few layers and then I just kind of just let it be as it turned out. This is my favorite. These two are my favorite, I think. This one was kind of random. The background is actually, I made kind of like a homemade texture paste with, I think it was with baking soda and just PVA glue and white acrylics. It made such a lovely texture. It's really nice, and it was just random leftover paints that I had and applied in various times, maybe like 3 different occasions. And this, I worked on this one for quite a bit. I think I have a video on my Patreon of this one. Yes, I do. On probably not the full process, but I kind of like it. It's okay. This was with my left hand. I was just like trying it out, just some shapes. This, I think I was inspired by just some loose still life art. Here I was swatching my Derwent pencils, Coloursoft pencils, and my Pentel oil pastels. Just all the blues I had. Here, I think these pages just started as just using up leftover paint, and then I did like a wash, acrylic wash. A bit of collage of some scraps. That was in March 2024. So 23 was just September to October. Then I think I restarted again in 2024. This is all spring 2024. Here I actually only had this page done, and this was prep for a video that I did when I painted a deer on a tote bag, and I had these and I thought, oh, these colors actually go together, so I just glued it here. This was an exercise from a YouTube video. I'll put a link in the description. It was The Power of Ugly Art. I won't try to pronounce the woman's name. I think it's French. My French isn't good. I mean, I can't speak French or pronounce French. The point of this exercise was to make ugly art, to not care about, to use the ugliest colors. Just, yeah. And this was part of the second exercise in that video, where you would write your expectations about your art, and then you would try to actually represent those expectations with art. And that was in April, and I think her video just came out a few days before April 21 when I did that in 2024, when I did that exercise. And then seems like a shift here a bit in this journal. I started with collage. This was just some basically trash, and I made a video for this one and this one. It was in May 2024. Another collage was in June 24. This was in July. This part was with my right hand, this part was with my left hand. I was just trying out something, I don't know. I like these colors together. I don't know if it was a random palette or if I chose it on purpose. This was with my left hand. This probably a combination of left hand and right hand, I don't remember. I returned to this page this year actually, in March, so this was done later than the previous ones. This was in August 24. I was trying to find a palette. I think I wanted to try different complementary colors, so I went with green and like pinks and violets. I didn't really like this one as much as this one here. I tried blue with reds and browns, yes, and then I used it for this drawing. This sketch was kind of like an intuitive sketch. I really like this one. This is one of my favorite pages of this journal. Here I think I started with, oh yeah, it was just leftover paint that I had on these pages already, and then I went in one day with just sketches of just things I had on my table, and then I added some marks. Well, but I think I have this on my Patreon, or at least one of the pages. This was actually before this. This was a video I made of going back to basics, I called it, I think. Here I chose a color palette, and here I was just doing simple circles, and I used my left hand for some of the coloring. Here I again choose the color palette, which from those then I would like intuitively or randomly draw and color in the shapes that I think I created this with my closed eyes. This is the kind of art I used to make in the past, intuitive art. This was collage first. It's kind of thick paper. Actually it was from flower packets, because they were colorful, so I cut up the paper and used it for collage. And acrylics and oil pastel. Yeah, I didn't really talk much about what materials I used. I think this was Coloursoft Derwent pencils. I really like those. Another collage with flower paper and just acrylics, I think. Here, not so happy with this one. Oh, a lot of these I'm not happy with, but that's fine, because it's just supposed to be for anything. Anything goes in this one. It's just for practice, so it doesn't really matter if the result is beautiful or not. But some pages turn out great and I like them, and some are just only parts of them I like, and that's fine too. There's a lot of stuff going on. I don't remember what I used, but I think it's acrylics, some oil pastels, some colored pencils. Yeah. Here again, I usually prepare my pages in advance, not this one, but I just, when I have leftover acrylics, I would just put them on, and later I would go back to the pages and just add more. So that's why sometimes the dates, this says October 8, November 30, I like to write down to know when I worked on it, so it's usually more than one occasion. Yeah, I like this spread, it's kind of okay. This was a video I made, just a simple collage with, I think it's just papers painted with acrylics or just some leftover scraps that I had from other painting, and there's some also just brown paper as well. That was November 2024. This was collage at first, but it's really covered up, so not much is visible, but it was green and magenta, so I continued with those colors. It's kind of dark, but I like how these two pages go together. I think I did this one first and then I added this one, and it was in October and December. This one's December 2024. Here I use this kind of magic pencil. It was fun. Another spread, nothing special. This was another video, grid journaling. This I was using up some old paint in all my art journals, and then later I went back in and added oil pastel. This is acrylics again, and some white pencil and a bit of black pen. This is another collage with acrylic background and some watered down acrylics as well. And this was done with this wooden block and acrylic paint. Another mixed media. Usually I used acrylics and oil pastel or colored pencil. There's some graphite as well. I have a video on this one along with other ones in other journals. That was February this year. I like this. I think here I kind of discovered for myself that I can cover parts of a painting with colored pencil and create shapes with the layer below it. This is one of my favorite spreads. It's just collage, nothing else added, but the collage is done with old scraps that already had a lot of different stuff on it, collage papers or just things I was trying out. But a lot of it was collage papers that I did plan to use for collage. This was, I think, just left over when I was painting over a leaf and using it somewhere else. Another collage with acrylics and colored pencils. It was April this year. I think here I was inspired by Sonia Britton, even though this is not her style, but I was inspired by how she uses felt tip markers a lot, I think, in some of her just doodling, so I was kind of trying that. Here is another collage. I have a video on this one. More leftover collage papers. For these I used a MapCrunch website as reference. This was contour drawing, I think inspired by Lauren Bell. I think she was doing contour drawing in her video. Here I used different materials that had similar colors. those oranges and reds. I think it was a hot pastel, and some of these Stabilo, those are also used here. Stabilos. Yeah, it's hot pastel and Coloursoft pencils, I think. Yeah. Here I think I just wanted to put something that complemented with similar colors next to it. Here I tried some still life with just some things I had on my desk. Here and here I was doing, inspired by Sonia Britton, again I was doing some mono printing with oil pastels. This was on acrylics, and I think I might have added something on top. This was from a video I made of wildflowers in June. Yeah, just quick loose sketches, and I don't like how this bled through, but it's okay. Here I used some of my new Stabilo Woodies. There's some drawing ink, collage. Here I think it's called pencils with the Stabilo Woodies. I think this was my first page with Stabilo Woodies, and then I added some to these two pages. I have this on my Patreon as video without the red. I added the red pencil later after I finished this page, so that it corresponds a bit more. Not too happy with these two pages, but it's okay. Here is again acrylic background and Stabilo Woodies. I have a video on this spread. Kind of happy with it. Not my color palette, not my typical favorite colors, but it's just what I wanted to use up or try. And yeah, here again mono printing with Stabilo Woodies. This I just finished. It's going to be in my next video. It's a lot of stuff. I wasn't very happy with it, but then I added these lines and I'm okay with it now. So, and the last page, again, kind of mosaic collage. I wasn't too happy about it before adding the pencil marks. So that's it. I will continue with my next art journals, and I will make more art journals, and I always show my work in progress photos and completed pages on my Patreon, so you can join me there. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I hope it inspired you to give art journaling a go. It doesn't matter if the results are beautiful. It doesn't matter, whatever. You can just try out things. It's just for you. You don't have to show it anyway. I just wanted to show you because I want you to see that it doesn't matter how good it is, if you finish the pages or not. You can glue stuff in. Sometimes you will like some pages and you will hate some pages. That's just how it goes. Thank you for watching. Bye.